Hi guys, welcome back to another video with your girl Michelle. Today is going to be yet another VSG update and we are heading into month 6. I'm very excited to update you guys on what's going on over the last month, so let's jump right into it. As always, I have my handy dandy notebook. In case you see me looking down, I'm referring to my notes. Okay, so let's get right to the stats. My goal for last month was again to lose 10 pounds. I was weighing in at 223.6 the last me and you talked. This month, my weight is 217.6. So that gives me a loss of 6 pounds even. So the goal for this month was 10 pounds. And okay, let's just talk about it, right? So if you saw last month's update, you saw that I went out, I had a good time, I had drinks, I had food, and that put me on a downward spiral. So when I shared with you all that I had gone out and I was feeling good, I was feeling confident in how I was looking, that was just maybe like 2 or 3 days before I recorded the video. I completely stopped tracking my food, which I wasn't tracking very heavily, but I was being mindful of what I was consuming. And that all went out the window. I was eating chicken wings. I was eating Chinese food. I was eating baked potatoes, loaded. I was eating anything up under the sun, you guys. I want this journey to be as transparent and honest as possible. And so I'm going to be honest with you guys. I didn't lose a drop of weight until maybe a week and a half ago. I had to get it together. I mean, like, if there was a VSG wagon, I fell off of it. I mean, it was a mess. I really had to stop, take pause, gather myself, and get it together because I still was consistent with my workouts, which we're going to get into that in just a moment. I was seeing changes in my body. However, I wasn't losing weight on the scale. And my primary goal at this juncture is still fat loss, you guys. And so that is going to be accomplished by what you put on your plate. Yeah, so the chicken wings, no, I had to let them go. I had to cut them out. I had to really stop and really focus and get myself back on track because one thing that is a common misconception about VSG surgery, it does not take away your bad habits. It just doesn't. It doesn't take away the cravings. It doesn't take away the hunger. Temporarily it does, but it doesn't, but the hunger comes back. So for absolutely zero weight loss in the first 3 weeks of the month, I think I pulled it together pretty decent. Like I was able to get 6 pounds off in just about a week. Imagine if I had been doing what I was supposed to be doing the entire time. Now we do have to factor in there. Of course, I'm a woman, so I have like, you know, womanly time of the month, and that will make the scale fluctuate. I really don't pay attention to my weight too much around that time. Even on my weigh-in days, I still record it, but I don't really like take too much stock into it around that time of the month. So we do have to factor that in, but there was a good 2.5 weeks in there. Your girl was just cutting up. She was just doing what she wanted to do. What's that saying? You can't complain about the results you didn't get from the work you didn't do. I wasn't doing the work as far as what I was eating. Even though I was working out hard in the gym, you just can't out-train a bad diet. You can't outrun what you ate off your plate. Like it's not gonna happen. And so once I cleaned up my diet, even though I'm not able to consume a lot of volume, you still gotta pay attention to the calories, the fat, the carbs, all of those things, your macros. Even though I wasn't able to consume a lot of volume, I was maintaining. I wasn't losing not a drop of weight. And that's not what we're here to do. So I'm very proud of the 6 pounds. It wasn't quite 10, but it was something. And something is always better than nothing. Okay, so working out. I recently changed gyms, and I don't know if I mentioned that in the last update or if that happened after the fact, but either way, this month has been in a new gym, and I have been loving it. It's so much more versatile as far as the equipment that they have, and just bigger and better. The only thing it's lacking that I really want is a sauna, because that just helps me when I'm stretching. I like to stretch in the sauna, but this big gym has everything else, and that has really helped me sort of challenge myself, try different moves that I haven't been try more complex moves. My goal now is to really focus on targeting those muscle groups, those big muscle groups and the small muscle groups. I'm loving when I'm working out now how I can see the muscles moving and forming. It's really addicting, you guys. And I can see how people who start losing weight and start training end up wanting to do become a professional bodybuilder. I can see how that transition happens because there's something that happens. There's something addicting to seeing yourself change and seeing those muscles grow and move in a way that you've never experienced. So that's something that I've been like thinking about in the back of my mind, possibly competing at some point in some sort of fitness competition. And that's a really scary but exciting thought. And so I'm just keeping that at the back of my mind. But right now, as I mentioned before, I'm focused on fat loss. I'm focused on building muscle and just transforming this body that I have currently. I'm seeing some big changes, you guys, and that is really exciting. With the working out, let's talk about body dysmorphia. And I know I've touched on this before, but it is so crazy to me. Body dysmorphia is such a mind fuck, you guys. Like, I feel like this. I feel like this. Right? Right now, today in my body, I feel like this. But I look like this. Right now, today, I look like this. And there is something so disheartening about the way we see ourselves. Because I feel like most people see themselves in a way that is not how other people see you, right? But the way that we see ourselves when we look in the mirror is so freaky. Like, there's something disheartening about that. And one thing for me is I am going to be actively seeking therapy for this, because it's a very hard place to be. I don't want to get to the point where I'm 130 pounds and still feel like I'm 300 pounds. Right now, today, I still feel like I'm 300 pounds. It's really odd. It's really odd. And if you know what I'm talking about, then you know what I'm talking about. So for me, that's why I take a lot of pictures. I'm not the type of person that so much needs another person's validation. But I am the type of person where I need my own validations, right? So I like to make comparison pictures where I was heavy before and where I'm at now, because that puts it in a visual perspective for me. But once the visual is gone, I still feel like this. And so that's something that I really want to dig into, and I will be keeping you all updated on. It's a hard place to be. It's a hard place to be. So while we're on the topic of like body dysmorphia, let's talk about things like loose skin and cellulite. Baby, let me tell y'all something. The way this cellulite has popped up out of nowhere, listen, I got craters and dents everywhere. Everything is moving, y'all. When I say moving, you jiggling, baby. Slow down, baby. You jiggle. That's me. Jiggling, okay? And, you know, it has its perks, but we want to pull it together, okay? This cellulite is out of control. And while I'm talking about that, let me just get a little serious, you guys. Like, loose skin is not something you can stop from happening. I have seen an abundance of VSG videos, and I don't know if it's like clickbaity or whatever, where it's saying like how to prevent loose skin and how to manage loose skin and, you know, how to tighten skin after VSG. No, please don't waste your money. I'm gonna just be honest with you guys. Skin elasticity is genetic. So there's things we can do to help sort of like maintain. There's things we can do to sort of fill in the loose skin, like with muscle, but there's nothing you can do necessarily to prevent it from happening. It's really genetic. Some people have more loose skin than others. It's one of those things like stretch marks. Some women are covered in stretch marks from gaining weight or pregnancy, and some women have not a spot on them, and it's usually genetic. It's nothing you could do about it but either try to fill out some of that lost volume with muscle or get it removed. That's it. You can't do anything to stop the loose skin from happening other than put fat back in it. Sorry. I'm not telling you not to take your collagen. I'm not telling you not to moisturize your skin. If you love bio oil because you love bio oil, by all means, do you, sis. But I'm just telling you, using bio oil is not going to stop you from having loose skin. Using certain products or doing certain routines is not going to stop you from having loose skin. That's a reality of extreme weight loss. So the best thing that you can do is accept the fact that you may have loose skin, and then be proactive about doing things that you can to help the appearance of it, i.e. build muscle in the gym to sort of fill out the volume that was lost by fat, and or look into having cosmetic surgery to have the skin removed. And listen, that's no shade, but shade. Let's talk about what I've been eating. I have been really just trying to get back into a routine. So for breakfast, I've either been having like a pressed juice right after the gym, or just some water. And then after that, I will have a bowl of cereal, which is usually 1 cup of honey bunches of oats, nothing added, and a half a cup of low-fat milk. For lunch, I'm typically having a salad or an open-faced sandwich, something like that, something light but filling. And then I noticed that I'm not really that hungry, and it had me thinking, like, then why was I eating so terribly before? And it was out of habit. It was, just out of habit, just eating to be eating. It's a bad habit that overweight people have. It wasn't that I was overeating. I just was eating all the wrong things. So that's how I was able to sort of turn it around here at the end of the month and lose the 6 pounds that I did, because I tracked every single thing that I put in my mouth, and I only ate when I was hungry. And that made a big difference. So let's talk about this thing that happens to us bariatric girls and guys. You'll be eating and it'll be good, and whatever, eating, and then you'll start to feel the sensation of being full, and then you'll eat one more bite. Y'all know where I'm going with this. One more bite, yak. Okay? One more bite, sweating. One more bite, dumping. It's awful. It's the most awful feeling in the world. It's not always the same. Sometimes I feel like I need to puke. Sometimes I'm just hot and uncomfortable, like that I overate on Thanksgiving feeling. And Thanksgiving is coming up, so I'm going to talk about that at the end. Me and my friend call it the one bite too many. I try to avoid it at all costs. And it's so bad because it's like you only have 1 or 2 bites left of whatever it is you were eating. And so it's like, oh, I can just have that last bite. And then you eat it and you feel immediately terrible. Immediately awful. Terrible side effect. Terrible side effect of the surgery. Well, while we're on side effects, let's talk about my hair loss. Remember, I told you guys I cut my hair into this hairstyle because I was losing hair here. Well, I will post a picture of the update, and it is slowly but surely coming back. I'm hoping that it will gain some thickness, but again, I've only been treating it here for maybe a couple of weeks. But the hair loss is slowly but surely coming back, which we knew it would. It's just a matter of time. And so there's the update for that. Okay, so one thing that I wanted to share is that since I have lost such a dramatic amount of weight, now that people are seeing it visibly, a lot of people are reaching out to me and asking for help. And I have realized that I don't want to help anyone. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I mean this like on social media. I don't want to guide anyone through the process. If you ask me directly for information, I will do my best to help you get the information that you need. But I don't want to hold you through the process because I'm still working through the process for myself. I mentioned in my last video how important this was to me, for me, and that means that I cannot expend unnecessary energy trying to help somebody get to loving themselves outwardly. Because to me, that's what the surgery was. It was an outward expression of the love that I have for myself. And so while I'm willing to give any tips, tricks, knowledge, answer any fact-based question, as far as like helping people work out like via Zoom and Skype, or helping people put together workouts or helping people put together meal plans or helping them figure out their macros or anything like that, I just realized I can't do that. And that goes for people on social media who I know in real life and on large platforms like this. It's November, so Thanksgiving is this month. And I am cooking for Thanksgiving, and I'm making all of the soul food favorites. I'm making chicken and dressing. I'm making greens and cornbread. I'm making baked mac and cheese. I'm making honey baked ham. I'm making, everything, dinner rolls. I'm making all of the things, but I'm making just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. I'm trying to convince myself and not y'all. Just a little bit, Mick. Just a little bit, Mick. Don't do too much. Not too much on Thanksgiving. So with that being said, my goal is just to have Thanksgiving for Thanksgiving Day and the day after, and then be done with it. I'm literally only planning on making a little bit of everything because I don't want to deprive myself of all of the things we love about Thanksgiving, but I also want to get back on track. Okay, it's okay to indulge every now and again, but get back on track. If nothing taught me that, this last month taught me that. I got off track, but I hopped back on and I made some progress. Okay, you guys, the next time you see me, it will have been 6 months since I had VSG surgery, and that will put me at a half a year down. My surgeon's guidelines say that at around the 4 to 6 month mark, that is about half of the weight that you will lose over the entire process of having VSG surgery. I think that will put me right where I want to be, maybe a little bit less than I want to be, which is fine because there is a period of regain after you have lost the maximum amount of weight that this surgery will allow you to lose. I'm very excited for that. So let's talk about the goals that I have for month 6. I would love to lose 10 pounds yet again. And that would put me at 207. And I have not been that low, you guys. So right now, today, as I sit here, I am at the lowest weight that I can ever remember being. I don't ever remember seeing a number on the scale that was lower than 217. So anything from here on is new territory for me, especially as an adult. So I'm very, very excited. I'm hoping I can have some really good results next month. I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling really energized, and I feel like me again. So with that being said, that is going to wrap up this month's update. And I appreciate you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them. And I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.